Polo from Pennsylvania. He, him, wants to talk about some secular humanism and stuff. So
yours looks good too.
What is up, Polo?
Yeah,
you were talking with JMike and SR.
Yeah, great. I'm glad to finally be talking to somebody about this. I grew up a secular humanist, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with that Ethical Culture Society or ethical humanism as a religion, but I realized that there was a lot of things that I would like to do in terms of helping out people, just in terms of like simple things, like homeless shelters, things like victims advocacy, things that are humanist in nature, right? But they are given more latitude in terms of religion than they are in terms of just a non-profit.
Ooh, hold up just a second. I'm so sorry, Polo. Your audio is coming really, really bad right now, and it's starting to like squeal and howl. I don't know if you are standing in a microwave or next to a tunnel with a wind fan. I don't know what's going on, but if you just stand still for us for just a second, smash that microphone right up to your face. We want to hear nice and crystal clear.
How is that? Is that
Oh
better?
my God, that's gorgeous. That is gorgeous. Whatever you just did, keep freaking doing it.
Okay. Yeah, I took you off my earbuds.
Perfect.
My earbuds.
Yeah. So give us the whole thing again.
Okay, so I'm looking to start a new religion because the Ethical Culture Society that I grew up in, I don't feel like they're doing enough. I don't feel like they're actually going out and helping. I think that the religion as it stands is doing too much that is just like, I don't want to say self-serving, but they preach to the choir, if you will. And I want to start something that does more interfaith, that reaches out to those who actually behave humanistically in other religions. I want to reach out to those who call themselves Christians or call themselves Buddhists, call themselves Jews, who really are looking at the religions in terms of a humanistic viewpoint and do things that will really help society. But I'm worried that labeling the religious part, labeling the religion, and especially saying that I want to have interfaith, which, obviously, faith is going to be a big problem for anybody who's an atheist, such as myself. That would be a hard hurdle to climb for anyone to want to work with me.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of different things that come to my mind, because and I'm trying to remember this name. It's like Church of the Pragmatic Crystal or something like that. And there's one or two others that are kind of in that vein, that are kind of in a similar route as what you're talking about. And I'm in an interesting place, and I'll do my best to be as succinct as possible, Polo. But part of me doesn't want to discourage you at all, because I think the general thrust of what you're going for is kind of in line with, where I come to a lot of this stuff. I'd love if there was some perfect system of how we all engage with each other, and we could all just fucking believe it, and
that
everybody
religion word.
Yeah, right, but right, the religion, right. I have that initial kind of like, and in part because when I use the term religion, unless I'm specifically talking about it in a legal context for how laws should affect the people in a society and so forth. When I'm talking about religion, I'm specifically talking about a set of rituals and dogma mixed with the supernatural beliefs, right? So that doesn't work for like Satanism, and that doesn't work for secular humanism unless we talk about the legal concept. And then it's like, yes, secular humanism and the Satanic Temple have to be a part of that, because if they're not under that legal definition of religion, then people could discriminate against people based on that, and that's not cool. That's not okay. That's wrong.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I'm in a bit of a weird spot. JMike, what do you think?
No, like I'm not going to add anything that you didn't already say. So I mean, I'd probably just pull it to Polo just to see what their thoughts on what you said were, because I'm just going to repeat the same thing.
I'm really more worried. Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt. I wasn't trying to interrupt.
No, you're good.
No, you're good. There's a delay.
I'm really more worried. Yeah, I'm really more worried about what kind of hurdles I might encounter. I mean, I've been doing a little bit of research on Felix Adler, I know Felix Adler was coming to humanism out of Judaism, and I know that the Unitarian Church is doing something similar, and I was looking at humanist Buddhists, and I know that there's a lot of groups out there that are like tagging into other religions but still calling themselves humanist.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to, I guess, kind of unite those, and I get that they will want to join. I mean, they will want to do efforts with me if I push. I remember when I was young and I was working with the Ethical Society, and we started things like a soup kitchen, and we had the local Universalists jumping in to help us. But God forbid if we were to ask the Hasidic community down the street, they would be like, "Oh, hell no," So,
well, let me say this real quick,
because
Polo.
of who we were.
Right, and let me say this. I think 10 years ago, had you had this thought and you called in, I think it would have been much more reasonable to say, "Nah, man, you're probably not going to get as much of that interfaith dialogue and that reaching across the aisle and working together and shit, But that was 10 years ago. And these days, I think there's a lot more folks, both on the non-religious side and the religious side, that have more of this mindset of like, man, there's a lot of other more important things for us to be doing. Right? Like taking care of our unhoused population, like making sure that there's adequate fucking healthcare and education for people. Right. And so these days, absolutely. I have seen more and more of that desire to find that connection and work on the real important things like that and be like, hey, man, we'll talk about this whole whether or not like souls are real like later, let's work on this first. I literally was at a humanist meetup just last night in Nashville. Every single one of us there, atheists, you know what I'm saying? And yet there was a Methodist preacher, humanist. And that was what he talked about the entire time. What he was talking about was how, as a believer, as a Christian, how he can push back against this Christian nationalist agenda that is just trying to shove religion down everybody's throat and criminalize people just for who they are and all that shit. And so it was beautiful to see that and to hear from him how his congregation is so receptive to that message. And so, yeah, I think in 2024, a lot of us are a little tired of that, immovable object and unstoppable force just butting up against each other when all of our friends and family are suffering. I think there's more and more of us that are kind of wanting that similar track.
You get that motivation from the beliefs. You don't have to really return back to them if it turns out that they're shaped in a way where what informs the beliefs or motivates or forms the actions rather and motivates the actions is if it's just like I talk to someone, they're like, well, it's Jesus and Yahweh, and like I see them doing all this stuff and they're like, trans people are my friends, I want to fight on the front lines for them. Then I'm looking back and like, I don't got a problem with other if that's what's making you do that. Like I would love for everybody to be like that. But the main thing I don't like the being in the same club as a with like I don't I think I'm like stuck in the thing that SR is kind of stuck in, which is just like at the beginning, which is like I hear the word and extending into that, and I think I don't want to be in the same club with Scientologists and Christians, and I don't want to be in their club, but I know that's really artificial looking, and you have a more in-depth thought process that what you're trying to like show by using that. Like, I understand that. Yeah, I think that's part of but that kind of reaction from atheists, I think, is what you're going to get a lot. So you're probably, a lot of this is probably going to be a lot of like marketing and like being a good salesman on this pitch, like giving this pitch to people where they don't kind of do the same kind of moves that me and Elliot, like, because the baggage is there. You know, I mean, the fucking baggage is there.
I know.
You're asking us to basically like hold that off for 1 second, but it's coming with us in the conversation. You know, so it's one of those things. But I think your head's in the right area 100%. So
yeah, wrap us up, Polo. What's your thoughts from all that?
I think this is my project 2025.
I like that viewpoint of it. Let's have a better project 2025 than this Christian nationalist, unconstitutional, un-American garbage that these motherfuckers are trying to shove down our throats. I'm with you there, Polo. Well, thank you so much, brother. We appreciate that. And hey, give us a call in the future. Let us know how you're doing on it and what the challenges are and yeah, what the successes are, because we want to celebrate them both, man.